Pramananda-tirtha Bhagavat-Patacharyo-bhyo Namo Namaha. Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Sthitito Layanniyadi-prataya Jnana-prataya Vibhuda Surasaukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste. Yo Vipralimba Viparita Matiprabhudan Vadan Nirasya Kritavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Mananda-tirtha Munivaryam Namami. Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satyadharmarataya cha Pajatam Kalpavrakshaya Namatam Kamadhenavem Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mandukyopanishad Shanti Pataha. Om Badram Karnebhi Shruniyama Devaha Badram Pasyema Kshamiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvam Sasanubhim Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vridrashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti Nakshāryo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdhatatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends. See, when we discussed the mantra number 7, which is supposed to be the very important mantra in the entire classical literature of Upanishads and whatever has been produced, while all other Upanishads have got a great concept, this particular mantra carries the essence of most of the Upanishads, in fact all of the Upanishads, we can say with such a confidence. I will just once read this mantra and then we will go about the discussions. Nanta prajnaha nahi bahi prajnam bahisha prajnaha no bayata prajnam na prajnana ganam na prajnam na aprajnam adrishtam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam Anyopadeshyam Ekatmiya Pratyayasaram Prapanchopashamam Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtam Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vigneyaha. This is a wonderful mantra, because which takes so long, because this mantra alone forms the second kanda of Mandukya Upanishad. So before going into this Upanishad per se, what we have discussed the first two lines, we will go with some prelude with this, because there was one Carl Jung. He was a very, very famous psychoanalyst and psychologist. He was into philosophy also. He has gone through all the Western, Eastern philosophy and all. And he is the one who is responsible for developing the positive psychology, of which I talked about, particular author, the Flow, the book, very famous book which has been written, the name of the book is Flow, which has been written by Mikhail Chasin, because he is the person who has written that. After seeing how people in the Second World War could come back from all the tragedies they have faced in their life, still to be very positive, and they are more positive than most of the people with all the facilities, all the comforts in any other part of the world. That made him to go through and write the book, what is called Flow. And we will be discussing that particular aspect also. This Carl Jung was responsible for him to take interest in the psychology. Otherwise, he was a nomad, he was displaced from his country, Yugoslavia, and he has to be a sort of immigrant in Italy and working for small things. When they, he didn't have anything to do, he wanted to sit in a lecture because it is a free, entry is free, no one has to pay for anything. When he went there, it was a Carl Jung's lecture. After hearing that, he took so much of interest and it kindled him, it took it to a great level, and in 1975, he published the famous book called Flow. It is still considered to be a masterpiece in mathematical sciences, in psychoanalysis and psychology, and even otherwise also when you are discussing philosophy, it is also being considered to be one of the most important pieces. This Carl Jung, when he was interviewed by BBC in those days, they used to interview all these people to know what are the philosophical concepts, they are trying to bring about to the public in a very understandable way. So when they asked him, do you believe in God? So when he was asked, because it is a very, very fundamental question, because people can say yes or no and all sorts of things. But he gave an answer, if you ask me, I don't. But I know God. That's what he said. See, what is it? Because believing in God or not believing in God is not important than knowing the God. In fact, that's what he brought about it. So this is the concept Vivekananda, when his famous lecture in 1893 in Chicago, when he went and propounded the philosophy, of the entire world, we are all of us are covered by the one consciousness and all of us are children of the God. Eki Deepaha, Eki Nanda Deepaha, Eki Vishwa Pradipaha, all of us are reflection of the same light, which is glowing in this world. When he brought that, after that he established the Vedanta Institute in New York, where they have brought about, all these philosophical concepts of the East, particularly India, to the Western public. In that every meeting, the Vivekananda used to start with the meeting when everyone used to ask what is the purpose of this philosophy and all, when you are coming through the life, once you see everything and all, and finally you find, because there is something more you have to do. It is not the life what you are living, that is not good enough. We can take the history of so many people, the life of so many people, how they have undergone dramatic change, overnight change from what they were to what they are. It has happened, and that if only you know who you were. This is the first thing, Vivekananda used to say. If only you knew who you were, and then world would be a wonderful place. That means most of us don't know who we are. This is how he started the whole thing and all. So this concept, slowly when it is being said, in this context only, and a lot of our philosophers have gone to West and given lectures. Chinmayananda, he has taken the propagation of Gita as his life motive, after he got the enlightenment. Having been a journalist suspecting every guru, he turned into a sort of guru himself when he went there. One journalist in West asked, because basically they were at a basic level. Western philosophy is everything is real, and unless you work for that, you will not be able to get anything in the life. What you are getting is an achievement, more like a Charavaka philosophy. Little bit of, after your death, you will go to the heaven or hell. And if you go to US, I think even today you will find billboards telling, after death, you want to know heaven? Ring 1800, 180 and 1800. Something like that number is there. That is, you can go to heaven only after you leave the body. This is what, the entire advertisement says. That was the Western philosophy. The same young journalist asked Chinmayananda, see, we have got Bible, we have got Jesus Christ, and likewise Jews also got the synagogue, and they have also got Abraham, because they are all Abrahamic religion, coming from one source. Like three religions have come mostly from one source, like Islam, Judaism, as well as the Christianity. They all come from one source. All are called Abrahamic religion together, because it's all based on the Abraham, how they have interpreted and how they have taken it as their gospel. That is how we have got one scripture, and we have got one person who has written all those things. How about Hinduism? This is a normal question. We all keep on repeatedly telling ours, we don't have one author. Even Vivekananda has said it is Aupurusheya, so many people have written and all. Chinmayananda wanted to give an answer in a different way. He says, yes, we don't have, because they have got one Messiah was there and one scripture was there. In Hinduism, we don't have a Messiah. We don't have one Messiah. It is a science, he said. What is that? Is it a science? Is it not a religion? Yes, it is a science. Then he asked the journalist, who invented physics? You can't say one person who has invented physics. Who invented mathematics? Who invented chemistry? Who brought the concept of biology and all? It's not that. These are all slowly the human being picked up from the basic way of life, and slowly it has been developed. So many scientists, so many concepts have come, so many people have proved and they have been disproved, and further postulations have come and further theories have been enunciated. It has grown like that. He said, you've all got one scriptures, but if you go to Hinduism, I can give entire library of scriptures. So many people have contributed. We have got so many ways of looking at the same philosophy. The Sanathana Dharma has got a big sweep. If you want to chronologically number the scriptures in our religion, it will cross more than 100,000. So many scriptures are there, so many which we have not heard at all. They are all there. So many people have written, so many people have given an interpretation, so many people have propagated, in the sense, the concept to the people to live a way of life. It's not that we have not proselytized and tried to convert people and take us into. There is no necessity for this religion. The religion will stand for millions of years to come. It has already stood for millions of years. So what is this science? When we have philosophically gone about this particular concept, the science we have got philosophy. What is the science? The science which comes, the entire concepts of all our adhyatmic thoughts have been brought together in two great philosophies. One is Sankhya philosophy, which has been written by Kapila, but which is not popular, because Sankhya philosophy, even in Gita, the Krishna says, in the philosophy, I am a Sankhya. The Sankhya is nothing but the Kapila is supposed to be an avatar of Vishnu, Amsa of Vishnu. He has propagated that Sankhya. Sankhya is, if you really see it, it is not some mumbo jumbo. Sankhya is sort of number. Sankhya is counting. Sankhya, how many Sankhya? In Hindi say we Sankhya. So likewise, it is a counting, because it is the number. But based on the number, the philosophy has been enunciated, showing Sankhya philosophy has got Paramatma, Atma, that concept are there. The other important science which this religion, Sanatana Dharma, has given is Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is a science per se. Whatever we say, because we think Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, whatever we say, we all talk about in philosophy. But what is Shravana? What is Manana? What is Nitidhyasana? That has been brought about by this philosophy of Patanjali, Yoga Sutra. The Yoga Sutras are very important, but yogas are being taken only to a limited level of asanas. It has not gone further, because this is where we will have to understand this particular concept with reference to this particular mantra. We said na anta prajnaha. We said it is not the internal consciousness which causes the dream state. The latent impressions of the mind which comes, it is not na anta prajnaha, na bahi prajnaha. It is not what we are having jagradasthana. That avastha is also not there. God is not that. It gives all negation. Neti, neti, neti. Okay, it is not that. To explain that, we can't explain the concept of God who is unexplainable, who is beyond the words, who is beyond the explanations, who is beyond the silence. Because perhaps silence will give you some indication of who is He. Till such time we will not be able to describe Him. He is all powerful. He has got no wish to be fulfilled in this way. He does everything for the fulfillment and development of the creatures which have been created after yuga, kalpa after kalpa, for their own benefit, their own evolution. Nichocha bhavam gataha, which we said. That is how it is happening. When it is happening, so he has got nothing to do. No ubayata pragyam. Ubayata pragyam is between waking and the dreaming state. See, sometimes what happens in the dream, we will also discuss on one particular aspect of dream. We will say, we will all would have experienced. It is not something unknown. It's all known to us. The Upanishad that brought it in so effectively, succinctly to bring it to our understanding. What we have experienced, we are not able to express. The Upanishad gives an indication, direction to realize what we had experienced. That is the greatness of this Upanishad. So when he said no bhayata pragyam, between the waking and dreaming state, what you are getting is sometimes somnambulism we call it, and this is also called lucid dreaming. The lucid dreaming is the one, suppose you get some nightmares. You may find some children, they get nightmares, and it affects their way of behaving and all. And then we take, we do mantra, tantras, and we take to the doctor and all. Basically what happens is, when the dream comes, they are not able to differentiate between whether it is a reality or whether it is a dream. So in the lucid dreaming is again, concept, which has to be developed over a period of time. We will discuss that. Lucid dreaming is where you will be able to see whether the dream is purposeful or not. And sometimes in dream you will be discussing something, see, which you thought, you got so many, you got some questions which has arisen in your mind. You may be discussing with someone else, or some guru, or some person whom you think is capable of answering. You may be discussing with him. Sometimes, you may be getting the answers also. This is exactly that. Lucid dreaming is a state in which Ramanujan and the Einstein and all, they got their concepts, some of the clarification, what they wanted to get, they all could dig this lucid dreaming. We will come to that and we will explain. Because it is very important for us to understand this concept, to go further into this mantra, because otherwise it will all appear to be some sort of a statement which we are not able to understand. Yes, we will not be able to understand that because we have not experienced. Because we don't have any mystical experiences to understand, but we have some sort of identification of experience which has happened in us. This Upanishad gives, and the Yoga Sutra gives the indication to that, which we can take the help to understand these concepts. That is why, it is necessary to understand it. No Vaita Pragyam, na Pragyana Ganam. When Pragyana Ganam is said, because the entire nescience, absence of knowledge. And you have got only the awareness, that too after you come out of the Pragyana Ganam. After the deep sleep, when you come out only, you have it. At that point of time, you are not you. You lose your identity and you don't have any desires left. No, Bhayata Pragyam. There is who? Bhayatha is, in the desire. In Kannada also it is desire. Bhayataha is desire. You don't have any desires. If you don't have any desires, nothing to be fulfilled. Nothing to be fulfilled. That's why you are having a wonderful sleep. But when you get up again in the morning, the desires start coming in. So that's why, you are fully engaged in the world. That's how it happens. Now, Pragyana Ganam, he is not even a Pragyana Ganam. What we describe the God, what is the concept of God, he is not the Turiya. Hi. So, Turiya, he is also not, exactly that Pragyana Ganam. And next comes Na Pragyam. Na Pragyam in the sense, he is not the knowledge which you will get. He is not the knowledge. Pragyam in the sense, Pragyana Ganam, what we said, in the deep sleep state, we said in the cosmic state, he is Ishvara, as conceptualized in Advaita. Even otherwise, we know he is a Paramatma who has given us the deep sleep state. He is all knowing. He is full Pragya. He is a Paripurna. But we didn't have the knowledge. But only thing is, absence of knowledge was there. But we had a bliss. Because once you have the absence of knowledge, it caused the absence of desires. Once the absence of desires are root cause of any dukkha or suffering or any sort of unwanted unhappiness. That is not there. When it is not there, that Pragyana Ganam we said. But Pragyam is when is not even the Pragyam in the sense, when you go into, this is where we will have to take a little the help of the Yoga Sutra. In Yoga Sutra, what is happening is, whenever we get a stage, Sambranga Samadhi we say. Sambranga Samadhi is the one where you are aware of what you are going to do so intensely. It's like, you are practicing, some musical sort of, you are a musician, you practice music so intensely, the riyaz, you are doing it so absorbed in that. Or even when you are doing something, very important, wherever, if you are a good drawing, if you are doing it, or if you have some other subject, you are reading it very intensely, or you are practicing yoga or asanas, you intensely practice that, you slowly lose yourself into that. But then only during that period, again you come back. So this is called, the Sambranga Samadhi. Before that, we will just explain what is that. The meeting of Atman with Paramatman which is supposed to be the Turiya state, which we are discussing in this mantra number 7, is equivalent for this in Yoga Sutra is Samadhi. The Samadhi is the etymologically sa, integrated, the Paramatman and Atman coming together. Sama, that is going towards, and the goal, da, that is, we are going to see Paramatman, Atman, they are coming closer. You are not becoming one. That is what the Samadhi. And Samadhi is supposed to be, it is not the end, it is the beginning of yoga, they say. And we can see, because I will also explain how in the real life also the Samadhi would have taken place even during our course of our working, how we have not realized. That is what we are going to discuss here. There. So when we say whether the mind is fixed, understanding, the Atman or self or doing something in the very, very present moment, that is called Samadhi. So it is a sort of, it has got a very variety of explanation. They say it is a soundless breathlessness and all. Let's not go into that. Observing your breath. How many times we are able to observe the breath what we are taking? In Pranayama, one of the first thing I used to ask you to do is just sit without doing anything. Observe your inhaling and exhaling. Nothing more than that. So once you are able to observe that inhaling and exhaling itself, that once you observe it for about 10 times, you will have some fixation of the mind. So the mind doesn't go here and there. You are not only that, you feel you are different, and after some period of time, once you go into that, you will go to still higher level. Your stability of the mind will be there, your thought will be more focused. What you are doing will be more focused. That is the first exercise for pranayama. In fact, even this, lot of people have said, it has helped during this COVID time. Observing your breath, that itself has helped lot of people to gain their breathing and oxygen level to a very high level. Then you do, because then you hold the breath for some time, because other things are there. Anam Viram, because you do that and then you hold it. And you got other, the step by step they take it. And the asanas are there. But the first preliminary step is pranayama. Pranayama is very, very important, which is incorporated in our Sandhya Vandana also. That not only keeps your body in perfect health, it also focuses your concentration totally onto what you are doing. If we do it, because at least, we give some time, based on how we have to do, if we concentrate and do it, 10 times you hold the breath, that will give you that type of a thing. So when that comes, then it comes, because how it takes you to the consciousness. Your consciousness improves, super consciousness they say. That is the level it goes. And this is, of course, since we are not used to the yoga, we are not used to that, at least, we should know this. It will give a glimmer of hope. At least to understand, we may be able to do in our own way some pranayama, some whatever you learn from someone and all. That will, now it takes care of your health, even 5 minutes morning and 5 minutes evening, or if not 10 minutes in the morning is good enough. That will keep you going. Because it has got a lot of effect, not only philosophically, it is going to be very helpful. For that, they say to do the pranayama, and when you are doing, this samadhi and all, they say there are 8 steps. Samadhi is supposed to be the first step to realize and take your journey to understanding the Atman or Paramatman. The first is yama. All of us know yama, niyama, we say yama is observing your breath. Or observing, whatever is focusing on that. That is yama. Niyama is abstinence. Abstinence from, because some people have got the habit of taking some forbidden food or non-vegetarian food, or some other habits of drinking, smoking or something like that. Abstinence, that is niyama. Doing abstinence, then you are doing asana, whatever asana is, which is comfortable. See, there is no point, focusing yourself, with your knees are giving you a problem, going for a Padmasana and all, not required at all. Sthira Sukham Asana, in whichever way you are able to sit comfortably to yourself in a chair or wherever you are doing, you feel very comfortable. That is Sthira Sukham Asana. That is Asana. Don't worry about it. You should not be, because by trying to do Padmasana, you should not try to hurt yourself, focus you too much on that. You should not do that. And then comes the Pranayama. Pranayama is first step is observing, and afterwards you breathe through one nostril and hold it for some time and give it through the other. That practice, because these are all helpful in Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. When we have to do that, just because Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana is not that you have to do only during puja and all. Even otherwise, morning when you do that, it gives you the stability of your thought. Because we will say why thought is so important in the concept of our philosophy and this yoga. And pranayama, then pratyahara. Pratyahara is withdrawal of senses, in the sense when you are just doing it, suddenly you think your mobile may be flashing something, you want to see whether there is a WhatsApp message and all. Don't go for that. Then pratyahara is withdrawing the senses. Immediately you want to respond and react. We are always looking into WhatsApp or a message or email or something, Facebook or something like that to respond. And in most of the cases, 80% of the people don't read. They forward and they react. Only that is happening. So we immediately go for that to avoid that. So once that is that withdrawal of senses, then is dharana, what we said, dharana. Dharana is coming together, fixating. You will not be able to do in one together. So you will try to do it. And followed by that, once you are able to mature on that, you get dhyana. When dhyana is there, you will be doing the dhyana, but if you are getting disturbed, you will come out of that. Then again you go into that dhyana is there. That is the dhyana which we will be able to practice initially. But in the dhyana, even when you are not disturbed by any external disturbances, that is called the samadhi. Samadhi or nirvana, what the Buddhist people call, we call it samadhi. See, in this, what happens is in the samadhi stage, when you are doing puja also, intensely you are doing puja. Someone is talking to you, you are not able to hear, your phone is ringing, but you are into that. It is not that God is going to be too happy or anything like that, but you are focusing so much on to that you will be totally in identity with whatever you are uttering and whatever you are doing. Then you will be there only, you got to the Nitidhyasana. That is called Nitidhyasana. So these 3 stages, that we have said, 8 stages to get into the Samadhi, which we may be doing, because when something has to be worked on, when you have to submit a paper tomorrow, to your office, or when you have to give a reply to you have to write an affidavit to be filed in the Supreme Court, High Court, or you will have to go through some agreement which is to be executed next morning. We will all be in a state of samadhi only without realizing ourselves. The focus comes through. The stages of samadhi, because they said just only for the purpose of understanding, we are not going to go into the detail, because Yoga Sutra is a masterpiece. It has got 199 sutras. Each sutra has got almost about 20 to 25 explanation and sutras are there. Samprajnata Samadhi. Samprajnata Samadhi is one where you've got Savikalpa Samadhi, in the sense you always having an object. Because whenever you do puja and all, you take the image of when you are doing Ganesha Puja or Krishna Janmashtami, you imagine the figure of Krishna or figure of Ganesha and hold it in your mind, and then you do it. So then that object becomes whatever you have seen. It is not exactly the object of Ganesha. They are beyond the description. But what is there in the pratyaya, in the manas, that comes through, you are doing it. Asamprajnata Samadhi is you don't need anything. It's a nirvikalpa. That you don't need anything at all. And then final one is the Kaivalya Samadhi, what they say. What we see, because Raghavendra Swami, all of them, because Vadiraja, all of them, they have gone into, that is Kaivalya Samadhi. Kaivalya Samadhi is, Vairagya Pata, Vairagya at its height. Indu Nanage Govinda, what the song, what we hear, what Raghavendra Swami has sung in Udupi, That is the highest vairagya. In the sense, he is totally in line with the Kaivalya. That is only one. Kaivalya is nothing but one. You are into one. That is the Kaivalya. That's why there is a Kaivalya Upanishadam is there. That is also a great Upanishad. It explains how oneness is being explained and all. The Kaivalya, when we say, the Swarga and all, we say Kaivalya Dhamma, we say. Kaivalya Dhamma is where you reach almost the Atman Paramatman meets, that is the Kaivalya. Almost they become part of it. That is it. The Sambranga Samadhi is the one which is happening most of the time in the world. When you are totally concentrating, because when you are concentrating and you are doing in the stage, you are in the meditative stage. You are able to come through that. But, when it goes, once you are out of the meditation, you will be able to respond to the world. This may be happening in our everyday life. We might not be aware of it or it's happening. From my experience, I want to quote 2 examples which I am still holding to my heart. I was in a multinational, Prabhuda knows, after leaving Indian Oil, I was with a multinational called GEC, General Electric Company, UK. It was one of the biggest multinational company in late 70s and 80s. Of course, afterwards, now it has become Alstom, this and that and all. We had a chairman called Dr. Mamak. He used to be the chairman of 7 companies in India, because they have got 7 English Electric, like all big companies. All of them are GEC group of companies. He was the chairman of all companies. He used to have board meetings here. And we had about, GEC itself is a mammoth organization. We had 2 big factories. We have more than 75,000 employees working all over India. And other group companies also had. English Electric is also a big one. And he used to, I used to wonder the power. It is nothing but Sampragyata Samadhi. What he used to do, he used to conduct the board meeting. Suddenly, you will get a call. Our headquarters was in Stanhope Gate, London. So they will say, tomorrow there is a group board meeting, you will have to come. So after the board meeting is over, he would have dictated the minutes, because normally he has got the habit of dictating the minutes immediately. He had a brilliant secretary, a Parsi secretary. She will not brook any nonsense. And she will, even if the boss commits mistake, she will point out immediately. Look, it is not that, what you said. Something like that. He has to be very, very sort of concentrating while dictating the minutes to his secretary also. He had that. He used to do it suddenly, halfway through, and he has to catch a flight. He will go to London. He will come after 15 days. And the morning he will come as if nothing happened. And he used to come jovially. He used to wish everyone. He come into the office, call his secretary, dictate the balance minutes without any command, full stop. Every subject, in a board meeting, with the board minutes, and so many papers would have come, so many things would have come. We are all used to wonder what type of a man he is. He's also like us. He was only 5 feet 7.5 inches. And he used to be they're very affable and smiling. He used to ask us by my first name. He used to remember everyone's first name. And if he goes to the factory, and he's a doctorate in industrial engineering from Manchester in those days, way back in 60s and all. He knows, industrial engineering about all the operations broken into so many steps. And we used to make all sorts of things, machines, heavy duty motors, these motors, furnaces, and transformers, switch gears, everything and all. He used to remember all the operations. When he comes to the factory, and he will just go to the quality control and see which are all the rejects. And by seeing the rejects, he will know which machining, where it has not been done properly, which operation has not been done properly. He called that person by first name, including the worker by first name. And he said, how many times you did it, what did you do? And he will correct them, give them the advice and go. And whenever he comes, because after that, once he comes to the office, the finance people will be waiting for all the sort of the documents and everything. He will just go through, he will ask 4 pertinent questions that is good enough for the finance man to work for next 1 month. He would have picked up all the, because what a type of, because he's a human being like us. How we could do that? It is not something, we all could be doing. God had given the power to us, but we have not exercised. And he is not into philosophy or anything like that. The man has worked like that. He was admired by every worker, every officer, every person in all the organization. Even after he left, he was being still admired. He went abroad, he is still being admired. He is way back in his 80s. So one could see, what type of a human possibility is there. The Sambranga Samadhi, because in Napragyam when it says, even in the Samprajna Samadhi, what happens is you are able to almost get to what the Paramatma is likely to be, even that is not the Paramatma. Napragyam. That is what its mantra says. I wanted to bring it so that, because we understand what is this Samprajna Samadhi. That is in the world we are experiencing. See, with this concentration, Usain Bolt, he sort of got medals wherever he ran. And you must have seen his running. He never looked back whether any person is behind him. And he never had to. He has got so much of overconfidence. He was only running, with the medal was up to him. It's in his name. See, that is what, that he is in, because when he is working and when he is doing it, and he is in that concentration, nothing can take. He only do. And it is said, coming to still higher level is, these are all called Sabija Samadhi, where you need some object. You are doing activity, running, because doing something, working on purpose. But Nirbija Samadhi is, you don't need any object. You go beyond that. In fact, Arjuna is supposed to have practiced archery. With that concentration, you lose your consciousness. You become one with the highest power that be. That's why he has become, because Gandhibam could give him whatever he wanted, because his concentration was that. That is the level of concentration. When we said Raja Yoga, when Vivekananda could spurt out, every Encyclopedia Britannica, it is that concentration, Nirbija Samadhi. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what he did, and the Ramana Maharishi, what they got, they are all Nirbija Samadhi. So they are all the one, they had some indication, what they have done, when they have done all those things, when they have gone closer to the Paramatman, what they have seen is only a minute, Vidyutaha, a minute, is some flash. It will not continue for a long time to come. The Ananda they would have got is some. Because this Samadhi is very important from the point of view of understanding whether we are able to do, and because we may not be able to do, or we may attempt, or at least we will try to do the Pranayama, which is the basic thing. The power of Pranayama is so high. Today I could see some of the people with Pranayama, they are able to understand why you have come, for what you have come, and perhaps what they have to do. That capacity is there. They are not, Swamis or anything like that. They are all like us, people like us. I have encountered a lot of people. Whenever I see them, I get bold. See, because we are still capable of doing, we are not able to do, because we are seekers. It is better to be a seeker. If you are a seeker, at least you will have the propensity to know more and do it. So the Napragyam, when it comes, it is that. Sabija Samadhi, when I said, it is like that. Even when you see the batsmen, who are all working, like, the Brian Lara, he has got the world record of scoring more than 4 centuries. I think if you happen to see the match, I happened to see that match. And he played all the 4 days. And the 5th day also morning he played. But when he played, the concentration is so high, the cricket ball may be looking like a football for him. That is the concentration he had. So the backlift is so beautiful, brilliantly coming like an arc. It's a geometry you can run like that. Because entire body, mind and intellect work together. That is a sort of stage of Samadhi. He was not into himself. He was not thinking about the record or anything like that. He was playing the ball only. See, that is exactly the Samadhi. Napragyam, when they say, even if you have done like that, whatever you are getting, even that is not the God. It's not the Turiya stage. See, Turiya, we will have to bring it about God and all, because the Turiya is nothing but fourth, we said, Chaturtha. But I think when you are explaining it to the Hindi audience, when Swamiji was explaining, Turiya, in Turai, there is one vegetable is there. Those who have lived in north, they may be knowing it. Turai is there. Turai is used to make chutneys and all. In summer only you will get that. So, Hirekai. Turai. Turai is nothing but what we call Hirekai, I think I am told. So it is a vegetable, and they in north, they use it only for chutney. They don't do other things and all. But here we do it for a lot of things. It is like that. It is a Turiya we have to call again and again. That Turiya is the concept which is possible to, that is what, our goal is to realize that Turiya. After waking, dreaming and deep sleep, we come to the Turiya stage. The Turiya stage is not comprehensible, not available to everyone. Only few people can attain. But we want to know what is that Turiya and how it can be attained. So one of the things we said, the highest in the Samadhi itself, Samprajana Samadhi also, they are not able to do it. That is Nirpita Samadhi, which like Ramana Maharishi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda, Raghavendra Swami, what they have attained, that Vairagya level, that is where, they are able to do that. That means, is it that, you will not be able to get at all? No. Because they are taking it further into that. The next thing comes, na apragyam. He is not a giver of knowledge and all. He is not a giver of knowledge in the sense, you will not be able to get the knowledge when you are with this body, mind and intellect. You will not be able to, because, we have got that famous mantra, we have heard. Na sakchur gacchati. Na vak gacchati, no manoha, because we have seen Upanishads, pratyasman loka amrita bhavanti. Because when you leave the body, when the linga sarira is left, that doesn't mean that you have to leave the body and you be after the next. Even living, if you are able to leave the body in samadhi state, you may be able to get that that small, the apprehension of the superpower, primordial power. That is what na apragyam. Apragyam in the sense, in this body you will not be available. You will be able to get vidyutaha. That also you will not be getting it. It's just a minute. Just like a flash. The flash of a lightning. That's all. So this they have given like this. Because this is not available. Because it is beyond that. Beyond known and unknown. That's what we have said. We have seen in Upanishadam also. Now vidmo na vijanimo. It is beyond the known and unknown. Neither I know nor I can make you known. Make it know. But I can only give direction and equipments to you, so you will have to know yourself. That's what, because this taking all this concept, taking all the Upanishadic concept, they said it is not that. Neti and that. Now they have come, the next line if you see, it is page number 17 or 18 of our document I have sent, the mantra number 7. It would have been written as second kanda. This mantra alone forms the second kanda. What we have seen so far is the first kanda of Mandukyopanishad. This is the second kanda of Mandukyopanishad. This is the only mantra in the second kanda of Mandukyopanishad. This is so great a mantra, this entire mantra forms one kanda. Adrishtam. He is not visible. He is not, you can't be taking, by whatever you are able to, because nasakshur gachati, because what you are seeing with your eyes is not the Bhavanta nor the Turiya stage. It is not available to you. It is not empirical. You will not be able to have a guideline as to this is it and all. It is just a lightning, flash of lightning, because your eyes also don't give you the entire rupa. It gives only the image. It transfers to the brain which processes it. Now, sakshur gacchati, even your eyes can't go there. So finally you get that. That is what adrishtam is not available to you. And who have received that, because when you receive that, only when you receive the grace. Even that small, minute lightning, you get only when the grace. Till such time you get into that stage, it is adrishtam. You will not be able to say. So when that stage comes, when you will get the grace of the God, once you get into the samadhi, in the samadhi what happens is, once you bring all your thoughts together and all, then you go to a stage where you call it vritti. There is only one thought. One thought is focusing on whatever you are doing. You don't have any other thought and all. The Nirpita Samadhi, even that thought goes out. Even that thought is also not there. Your mind is with the contents fully available to whatever influence. What the Paramatma can give, whatever power he can give, that in Aniruddha we said in Kenopanishadam, this Aniruddha concept you can take it as it is. Otherwise it is the thoughtless stage. Thoughtless stage in the sense you can't be without thought being a human being. When you are practicing Samadhi, when you are practicing the Sabija Samadhi with the object, you slowly come to the level where you are getting Ananda that is there till such time you are focusing on the object. Once you are coming out of that, then you are again back. In fact, I narrated a story in about 6-7 speeches, sessions earlier. One Swamiji in Himalayas, he was asking his disciple to bring chai for him. He said, buy chai now. And by the time he brought, this fellow, this Swamiji went into Samadhi. He thought, what is that? He asked us to bring chai and he has gone into Samadhi. He didn't come out of the Samadhi for next 8.5 days. After coming out, he immediately asked, bhai, chai kahan gaya? Humne bola tha kahan gaya? Because he was able to come back, respond. That is the Sabija Samadhi. So you are able to come back. When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and this Ramana Maharishi, they are all going to the Nirbhaya, they don't need any object. Because when they by practice, like Sivananda and all, when they bring it together, that only concentration is, yes, let me focus on whatever, no disturbances, everything comes. After that, even that thought is not there. That vritti is not there. So that is why call Chitta Vritti Nirodha, they call it, the highest stage. Chitta Vritti, Chitta is our mind, the Chitta, it generates Vritti, thoughts. For us now it is continuously, it doesn't have any monopoly and restrictive practices act or anything like that. You can go on doing it. Because you have learned so many things, you have got so many things to be done, you have got so many pressures on from your family and your own pressure, you have to do so many things. And so many things, even if you don't want to do by force, you have to do for something else. And you, to do all those things, you have got some desires, continuously thought is generating. But when you are trying to slowly take, these activities as, to the extent, okay, it comes, it is there, you take it with the indifference. You cannot go to the Chitta Vritti Nirodha, it's not possible to be a witness. It is not possible. You take with the indifference. Let me see as it comes. Let me see whatever is possible. Let me see whatever is best to endeavor. See, because if 3 o'clock I am going to get a sleep, means I have to sleep for half an hour. Then only I will be able to work on that. Do that with relaxed. But don't, lose your thoughts on that. Because in Kannada they say, you are making your head talabisiya, they say, because you don't make yourself too much, worked upon that. Do that, that is it. This is, when you say, the adrishtam, even adrishtam in the sense it is not going to be available to you. See, even adrishtam is, when you say your happiness, you are happy, I can't see whether you are happy. You say you are happy. Because you talk sweet words, by that I know, you are happy. You are not using any sort of, the strong words. So I know you are in a very good frame of mind, you are talking to me. But your happiness can be felt only by you. I can't feel that happiness. So happiness is a state of mind. So to be in the state of mind constantly without any requirement to be fulfilled, that is bliss. That bliss is adrishtam with body, mind and intellect. This is what exactly this adrishtam says. Adrishtam avyavaharyam. Avyavaharyam, it is not transactable. See, not empirical, because it's not an object of experience. See, transaction in the sense, I am going to, because, I have to get certain things done. People say, why don't you go to Mantralayam and do, upasana, for 15 days. The seva, they say, 15 days say you do, or 10 days you do that. That will give you stability to your mind. Maybe you will do something much better than what you wanted to do. Perhaps you will not be going on that again. This is what that Raghavendra Swami does, or any other big Mahan does. Shri Sai Baba does. Because when you go there, you get the right thought. Till such time you are not able to get that. That is why it is not transactable. I will go to this place, I will do this homa, I will contribute this much, the 1000, this Mahapuja is there, that puja is there, that yajna, they do all those things. After all, they are all done for the common good. Whenever these things are done, though it is said, but these people will get benefit. Whenever it is done, the whole world is going to get the benefit. It is Loka Sarva Sukhino Bhavantu. It is being done for that only. Therefore, we can do that. There is no problem about it. But don't take it, from that you are going to get anything in life. Unless you have a change of mind. The Upanishad, why it brings again and again is, you have to change yourself. You can't be, by knowing this knowledge, you can't expect the world to change for you. Or things to change for you. To make it comfortable for you to get what you want. That is not possible. The object of Upanishad is you. The subject of Upanishad is also you. The change, the benefit, the final bliss, the final development, the final elevation, everything will have to be happen to you. This is what it says. Agrahyam. You will not be able to grahana, you will not be able to grasp. That we have already said. The God is not comprehensible. You can apprehend. Whatever in Sanathana Dharma, all you can apprehend in a moment, because that's all. That moment also goes off immediately. But that moment is good enough to leave the bliss with you. You will be working on that, without going for anything. Even people who are going in Samadhi, in Yoga Sutra, it is not that, they have done Samadhi, they have achieved something and all. They may get enlightenment and all. They are also thinking, they are not after enlightenment. The desire to get the enlightenment is also lost. There is no desire at all, desireless stage. Because the Bhagavanta, the primordial power, he doesn't have any desire. When you want to be in his presence, in his Samipa, you also should be having desireless stage. That's why when they say even a single thought that comes, that also vanishes. You don't have any desire and you don't think that bliss, you have to hold on. Even 1 minute, even a second it comes, that is good enough. You got it and then you hold it. That keeps you. Agrahyam, alakshanam. So it is not like, because it is not like having a concept like Jagradasthana. Jagradasthana Vaishvanara is said. And then Vaishvanara we also said is a Vishwarupa, in the other concept of Advaita, in Samashti level, Vyashti level, individual level, it is Jagrada, and the Vaishvanara, it is Viswarupa. Because finally we are using Vishwarupa to get these things. The Advaita concept of explaining this particular entire mantra is, don't be worked upon the manifestation. You are a manifestation in your everyday living, as a father, as a son, as a brother, as a son-in-law, mother-in-law or father-in-law, something to you got so many things. And you are trying to do the duty, or you are some ex-employee or something like that, you are association chairman, you have got so many things. But Atman is not having anything. These are all the roles you have got in this world. And your problems are based on your obligations on these roles. Your everyday, what you are doing is not because the ex, NSR wants this or Prabhu wants this. It's not that. Prabhu as a father, what he wants to do. Prabhu as a husband, what he wants to do. Fulfill the whatever is expected of him. That is where the entire life is spent. And you also will have a desire. When you are having a desire, you are expecting from someone else. Your desire is not, so pristine, pure, you are only want to do anything. You also expect, because this is the life, this is a samsara. Samsara will be like that only. And we are supposed to be coming out like the lotus. Padma Patra Mimamsa, what they say, Padma Patra, like, we will have to be floating as well as get unaffected. That is what, we will have to work on that. We can't go to simply leaving everything and go to Himalayas, because there also no one wants you. There also you will have to go and work, and you will have all these from this samsara. That samsara will be much worse than this. And they say no more, this sadhus are required. The Uttarakhand government doesn't want any more sadhus there. They have got enough to look after. So that is also not there. This is alakshanam. You cannot give any sort of a confine him to a space. In a waking, dreaming and deep sleep, whatever is there, you can't put him in achintyam, because you can't think about him. You cannot try to have a thought on him, how he looks like. If I go to Tirupati, he looks like. If I go to Guruvayur, he looks like. Or if I go to Rameshwaram, this linga looks like. In Madurai, Sundareswara looks like that. In Kasi, because Kasi Vishweshwara looks like that. Vishwanatha looks like that. So you see what is that and you create an imagination. That takes you to do your sadhana. But once you get into that, what you get, the bliss and the minutest bliss what you see. There you see, by virtue of your presence, other people, whatever happiness they derive, there it is only you get. Of course, it is being wrongly used in politically. Aliens repel, Irevanai Kanbam, they say. It is, if you see, that is the highest concept. Everyone's, happiness is what you are trying to look for, because you are happy. If you are not happy, how you are going to make others happy? You have to be blissful. If I am drooping and drowned, how can I make others happy? And others will only pity with me. This man is talking so much. Finally, someone has to help this fellow out. This is what will happen. This is not. This is exactly what the talakshanam. You will not be able to design with some qualities and other things. You can't do that. You cannot measure by any standard. They cannot standardize everything and all. Achintyam. That is why you can't be beyond the thought. Beyond the thought in the sense, body, mind, intellect. What will it will go on? Think about whether he would be like this. And whether he would be like, they said, in Guruvayurappan photo, you got the aura, 5 auras if you see, the 5 colors which is coming about. It is basically to make you understand, it is a mental concept for every one of us. It is a creation of our mind. Creation of our mind, what happens? When you create a happy stage, when you are happy internally, and you don't have too much of a desire bothering you, your aura will be bright. Nowadays, I think the techniques have come. They are taking the photograph of your aura also. Some healing, they are telling, because let's not go and take our aura and believe it or anything like that. But they are able to do it. Some techniques, electromagnetic techniques are there. They are trying to find that. When you are in super bliss, when you have got nothing, look, everything is fulfilled. What is there in the life, your aura will be the brightest. You may not be as great as Guruvayurappan, but you will be a little like that. This is a mental concept. So when you have this only, the 5 koshas what they discuss, this is Annamaya Kosha. The Annamaya Kosha is Anna we are taking by virtue of this flesh and blood and all these things are there. This is also very important kosha. Without this, you will not be able to get anything. Last week, I shared, the liver produces biochemicals, which you need 500 acres of land to produce that. And you have got 1,42,000 kilometers of blood vessels running through who has created that? They are not able to draw a line, from my nearby pole to give a connection to me. And 1,42,000 kilometers of blood vessels are pumping blood to all your organs and keeping you fit and participating in the Upanishads discussion. Do whatever you want to do in this world. So this Annamaya Kosha is very important, which is God, because it cannot be created by everyone. It is energized. That energy running through the body, the energy that is propelling the body to function, it is the Paramatma. But your job is to maintain this body. What He has given is a temple. Isa Vashyam Idagam Sarvam. He is also residing in you like outside. You keep the body perfect. Let it be a temple for Him to reside. Your thoughts will let it be perfect. So that let Him be happy to reside. Though He is trying to help you and exhaust your prarabdha karmas and all, let us also be kind to Him. That is what He brought about in Achintyam. Avyopadeshyam in the sense, He can't be given by knowledge from someone else. No one can give a upadesha. That we have seen in Kenopanishadam also. Na vidmo, na vijanimo. I myself don't know how I can upadesha. I can't do anything to you. I can only give a direction by which you can realize yourself. So there is no other way I can do that. Avyopadesham. Then the most important thing comes. This is the word. We will start with it. We will just look at that. We will see the details later. This is a very, very important sentence in this entire Upanishad. Ekatma pratyaya saram. Eka atma pratyaya saram. He is Eka. He is only one. Without the second. Ekatma. Atma, because when you are trying to know Atma and all, you are trying to know that Eka. The pratyaya saram is because his knowledge is paripurna, guna paripurna, jnana paripurna, satchidananda, satchit ananda brahmam. He is that. When you are trying to ekatma pratyaya saram, and he is the essence of all the knowledge, whatever Upanishadic Vedic knowledge, he is the one finally the embodiment of the entire knowledge you are trying to identify in this. And to understand this is the Turiya, the fourth stage, I want to get that. So that is where, the Saram, bliss or Anandam. That the Anandam which you are able to apprehend and where you are able to get it, the Ekatma Pratyaya Saram is the final concept, in which we are going to do. And this Ekatma Pratyaya Saram is the final definition of the Almighty in His fullness, plenitude. This we will take it in the next session because it needs lot of explanations for that. Ekatma Pratyaya Saram has also got a very deep underlying meaning in all the philosophies, Advaita, Visishta Advaita and Tattvavada. We will take that. With that, because this is this mantra, I thought, this session, we may be able to complete. Little will be left and next week we will take. And with this, I will try to conclude. I think today also, it may not be all that sort of, the transactional level. It will be little absolute level only. Because these concepts we learn to understand. And once you do that, because this is one occasion, because they will not be able to get one more occasion to talk about, the samadhis or how, all these concepts that has been delved and developed on this great Upanishad. You may not be able to. Once you do that, and I don't want to miss this opportunity. So if we miss this opportunity, we may not get again. We may get, only in parts in some other Upanishad. That is the point, we wanted to take it. With this, I will try to conclude today's session. Hopefully, audibility was okay, I presume. And I think if you have any doubts or if you have any suggestion, I would like to hear a lot from you, because it is so absolute subject. And perhaps, it should have made some sense, that's why I just would request it.
Audio is very good. There is no doubt.
Okay.
The examples you took, that brought the points.
Because you yourself would have seen in your lifetime how some impossible things people have done. And that is a samadhi state only. It is not that, with aware you would not have done anything at all. See, that in fact, if you are interested in sports, in those days, even now, of course, the team is still good. Brazilian football team is supposed to be the best in the world. They are supposed to be artists. The 5 forwards, once, they used to be 5 R's. Ronaldo, Romario, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, and all these fellows, everything, they move like a sort of, how it happens. It is a samadhi, they work like that. It moves like a magic. In Lionel Messi, even today, this goal scoring, you see, it's impossible for human being to conceive, practice and do it. It all happens at the moment. See, in sports, we are able to see the real life examples. Likewise, there are also a lot of great examples. Even the we have got a lot of politicians. I think we may be disparagingly talking about politicians. Some of them are so good, because in my experience, I had the great opportunity to listen to these people. In one of the northeastern states, one of the chief ministers sitting in his place, he used to perceive what people think, what is the problem there and all. And if you remember, it is only during the period of 91 to 96, all our filibustering problems in Punjab and Assam and all those things were brought to nothing, because they were all solved in this period. At that point of time, we had even politicians, bureaucrats, some of them are too far-fetched. Some of them, what they have thought, is becoming policies now. So we can't, because every arm of the government, every arm of the society has contributed to the greatness of the country. We cannot take it away.
Yeah, just last
I think Shankar would have witnessed a lot of things. I think with this, it's a real life example. What I could get, I quoted.
No doubt it was very good. You were able to bring it to all this cricket as well as your own earlier past. It
Yeah.
matches with all your teachings. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I think with this we will come to the conclusion of today's session. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunattu, sahaviryam karavavahaihi, tejasvinavatitamastu vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you.